Book titled Majestic Serenity and the Hidden Room. Chapter 1, Unveiling the Magic, exploring the majestic serenity. As the sun peeked over the horizon, casting its golden glow across the vast ocean, Sarah anxiously boarded the extravagant cruise ship known as the Majestic Serenity. She had heard whispers about the ship's enchanting aura and unique magical experiences, but she never truly believed in such tales. Stepping onto the ship's grand atrium, Sarah's jaw dropped in awe. The polished marble floors gleamed under the crystal chandeliers hanging from the ornate ceiling. Paintings of mystical creatures adorned the walls, teasing the passengers with hints of the extraordinary awaiting them. "Welcome aboard, Mrs. Harper," a charming voice said behind her. Sarah turned to find a tall, dapper man with a top hat perched on his head. "I am Mr. Gray, the captain of the Majestic Serenity. I am pleased to have you on this voyage." Sarah nodded, slightly overwhelmed by the captain's presence. "Thank you, Captain Gray. I've heard incredible things about this ship, especially its magical elements. I must admit, I'm quite curious." Captain Gray smiled, his gray eyes twinkling with secrets. "Curiosity is a powerful thing, Mrs. Harper. If you're ready, Elle would be delighted to show you the wonders that lay within the Majestic Serenity." With a skip in her step, Sarah followed the captain down the opulent hallways. Paintings seemed to come to life, offering glimpses into mythical lands and enchanted forests. As they walked, Sarah spotted a familiar face among the passengers. "Is that Professor Lawson?" she asked Captain Gray, pointing to a bespectacled man engrossed in a book. Captain Gray nodded. "Indeed, it is. Professor Richard Lawson is one of our esteemed guests, renowned for his knowledge of magical lore. Perhaps you'd like to say hello?" Sarah's heart pounded with excitement as she approached the professor. "Professor Lawson, what an honor to meet you. I've read your books, and they've inspired me to embark on this journey." The professor looked up from his book, his eyes twinkling with delight. "Ah, Mrs. Harper, a fellow enthusiast of the extraordinary. How splendid. I must say, the Majestic Serenity is unlike anything I've ever encountered before. We are about to witness magic in its purest form." Sarah could hardly contain her curiosity. "Professor, could you give me a hint of what awaits us?" Chuckling softly, Professor Lawson lowered his voice. "Word on the ship is that there's a hidden room on Deck 5. It's said to be a doorway into another realm, where mythical creatures and rare artifacts lie waiting. But remember, Mrs. Harper, magic demands respect and reverence. Exploring this room is an honor bestowed upon the true believers." Sarah nodded, taking the professor's words to heart. Captain Gray gently interrupted their conversation, noting that the ship was preparing for its first magical event of the day. "The Majestic Serenity will now unveil its grand enchantment on the sun deck," the captain announced. Excitement fizzed in the air as passengers flocked to the sun deck. Sarah hurriedly followed, eager to see what lay in store. As the crowd hushed, a thick, swirling fog materialized, obscuring the view. Slowly, it dispersed like an ethereal veil, revealing an extravagant stage. Suddenly, a figure appeared, bathed in golden light. The crowd gasped as a performer in dazzling, sparkling robes began an enchanting display of illusion and wonder. Doves emerged from thin air, and flowers bloomed in an instant, leaving the audience spellbound. It was a performance that Sarah would never forget. Overwhelmed by the magic unfolding before her eyes, she couldn't shake a beaming smile from her face. As the show concluded, Captain Gray approached Sarah, his eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "So what did you think, Mrs. Harper?" Sarah could hardly find the words to express her awe. "Captain Gray, that was beyond my wildest dreams. I am truly enchanted by the Majestic Serenity and eagerly anticipate exploring the hidden room on Deck 5. Captain Gray grinned, his own curiosity evident. "Ah, the hidden room. It is known as the Chamber of Mystique, a place that only reveals itself to the pure of heart and those intrigued by the wonders of magic. Tomorrow, I shall personally guide you there myself. Sarah's heart raced with anticipation. Little did she know that the real magic had only just begun. Chapter 2, Dancing Through Life. Finding joy in the ballroom, Sarah walked into the grand ballroom, her heart filled with anticipation. The room was adorned with gleaming chandeliers, and the sound of soft music filled the air. She took in a deep breath, ready to embark on a new journey of joy through dance. As she scanned the room, Sarah's eyes fell upon a distinguished gentleman standing near the dance floor. His name was Jake, a seasoned dancer known for his grace and skill. There was an air of confidence about him that drew Sarah towards him. Approaching Jake, Sarah mustered her courage as she introduced herself. "Hello, I'm Sarah. I was admiring your dancing from afar. Would you be interested in having a dance with a beginner like me?" Jake smiled warmly, extending his hand towards Sarah. "Of course, Sarah. I'd be delighted to dance with you. Remember, everyone starts as a beginner. Let's embrace the joy of dancing together tonight." The music began to play, and the two dancers gracefully moved across the dance floor. Jake guided Sarah with ease, leading her through intricate steps and turns. With each movement, Sarah could feel the music coursing through her veins, filling her soul with an unmatched euphoria. As they danced, Sarah felt a freedom she had never experienced before. The worries and stress of the outside world, and all her fears and disappointments seemed to fade away with each twirl and hop. The ballroom became a sanctuary, a place where they were both in harmony with the music and the moment. Lost in the enchantment of the dance, Sarah couldn't help but ask Jake, "How did you discover your passion for dancing?" Jake chuckled, his eyes expressing his deep love for the art form. "I started dancing when I was just a child. My parents took me to a social dance class, and I immediately fell in love with the energy and connection I felt on the dance floor. From that moment on, dancing became an integral part of who I am." Sarah nodded, her curiosity growing. "Do you think anyone can experience the same joy and connection through dancing?" Jake paused for a moment, his gaze fixed upon Sarah. "Absolutely, dance is not limited to a select few. It is a universal language that knows no boundaries. It is a means of self-expression, allowing us to communicate without words. Whether you've danced for years or are just starting, joy can be found in every step. You have already found that joy within yourself, Sarah." As the song came to an end, Sarah's heart was filled with gratitude. She had found a newfound passion that brought her immeasurable happiness. The ballroom had become her sanctuary, and dancing had become an integral part of her journey towards joy. With newfound confidence, Sarah thanked Jake for the dance that had touched her soul. As she left the ballroom that evening, Sarah knew that she had only scratched the surface of the immense joy that she would have, exploring all that the Majestic Serenity had to offer. As she made her way back to her cabin room, Sarah's thoughts began to allure her yet once again to that hidden room on Deck 5 that Professor Lawson had shared earlier. "Tomorrow," Sarah whispered, as not to disturb her fellow cruisers. "Indeed, tomorrow." With that, Sarah found her cabin and quietly made her way in. Chapter 3, The Hidden Room, the Chamber of Mystique. As the sun bathed the Majestic Serenity in its warm golden glow, Sarah found herself drawn to the humble allure of the ship's sun deck. She could hardly contain her excitement and curiosity as she made her way through the bustling crowds of fellow passengers toward the area where the grand enchantment was to be unveiled. The anticipation in the air was palpable, and Sarah felt as though she was part of something truly magical. She had heard whispers and rumors about this extraordinary feature of the ship, the Chamber of Mystique, somewhere in a hidden room on Deck 5. She knew that its unveiling would mark the beginning of a journey unlike any other. As she approached the sun deck, she noticed a man standing near the railing, gazing out at the calm waters with a serene expression on his face. His long white beard and kind eyes gave him an air of wisdom and tranquility. Intrigued, Sarah approached him cautiously. "Excuse me, sir," she began, her voice filled with a sense of reverence. "Could you tell me anything about the hidden room on Deck 5? I am filled with both excitement and curiosity." The man turned his gaze towards Sarah and smiled warmly. "Ah, the Chamber of Mystique. My dear, it is a special place aboard this majestic ship, a sanctuary of spiritual awakening and enlightenment," he replied in a gentle, yet authoritative tone. Sarah was captivated by his words, and she leaned in closer, eager to hear more. "Tell me, sir, what makes this chamber so special? What wonders await us within its sacred walls?" The man's smile widened as he spoke, his eyes sparkling with a sense of mysterious knowledge. Within the Chamber of Mystique, one can experience a deep connection to their own spirit and the vast universe that lies beyond. It is a sanctuary for introspection and self-discovery, a space where one can transcend the limitations of the physical world and explore the realm of the divine. It's a place where one truly can see the limitations that weigh down their souls. Sarah felt a shiver run down her spine as she absorbed his words. A sense of wonder enveloped her, and she couldn't wait to embark on this spiritual journey. "Sir, may I ask, what is your name? You seem to possess a deep understanding of this hidden realm somewhere in the Chamber of Mystique." The man chuckled softly and extended a hand towards Sarah. "Call me Ezekiel. It is not by accident that you found me. I have been entrusted with guiding those who seek the spiritual enlightenment that the chamber offers. Many have found solace and transformation within its walls, and it is my honor to be part of this sacred journey." Sarah, feeling both humbled and grateful, shook Ezekiel's hand firmly. "Thank you, Ezekiel, for sharing this with me. I feel truly blessed to be a passenger on this ship, sailing towards the unveiling of such a spiritual experience." Ezekiel's eyes twinkled with a mix of amusement and wisdom. "Oh, my dear, the journey has only just begun. The unveiling of the Chamber of Mystique is just the first step on a path that will lead you to uncover the secrets of your own heart and soul. Brace yourself for an incredible voyage of self-discovery." With those words, Sarah's excitement multiplied, and she felt as though she had been granted entry into a world far beyond her imagination. The Majestic Serenity was no longer just a ship, it was a vessel that would carry her on an inner pilgrimage. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting hues of fiery red and soft pink glows across the darkening sky, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and gratitude. The journey towards the Chamber of Mystique promised to be a transformative one, and she was ready to embrace the unknown with an open heart and a curious mind. Little did Sarah know, the experiences that awaited her within the hallowed walls in the hidden room of the chamber would challenge her beliefs and ignite her spirit. The Majestic Serenity sailed onward, its passengers filled with anticipation and a yearning for the sacred mysteries that lay ahead. Chapter 4, The Veil Unveiled, Sarah's soulful exploration on Deck 5. Sarah rose from her bed early the next morning, her mind filled with curiosity and a sense of adventure. Today, she would finally explore Deck 5, the mysterious and often inaccessible floor of the ship. She had heard rumors and whispers about strange occurrences happening on Deck 5, and she couldn't resist the pull to investigate. After breakfast, she eagerly made her way towards the stairs leading to the restricted area, leaving behind Captain Gray's invitation to escort her there. As she approached the entrance to Deck 5, she saw a crew member standing guard. His name tag read John. Sarah took a deep breath and approached him with a determined smile. "Good morning, John," she greeted him politely. "I was wondering if you could grant me access to Deck 5. I'm really curious to explore it." John looked at Sarah, clearly unsure of what to say. "Sorry, miss," he began, hesitating, "but Deck 5 is off limits for passengers. It's not safe to go there." Sarah's eyes glistened with determination as she pleaded, "Please, John, I promise I'll be careful. I just want to see for myself what's there. I won't cause any trouble, I swear." John sighed, realizing that Sarah's enthusiasm was not easily quelled. "All right, miss," he conceded, "but don't say I didn't warn you. Just be careful and remember that you're entering at your own risk." Excitement surged through Sarah's veins as John opened the door for her and she stepped onto deck 5. The air felt different here, heavy with an unexplainable energy. She could hear distant whispers, like the echoes of forgotten secrets, as she began her exploration. The first thing she noticed was the dim lighting, creating an eerie atmosphere. The hallway seemed never-ending, stretching out in front of her with numerous doors on each side. Sarah decided to take it one step at a time, choosing the door closest to her. Chapter 5, Journey to the Ethereal. Sarah's awakening in the hidden room. Sarah woke up with a start, her heart pounding in her chest. She glanced around the room, her eyes adjusting to the dim light filtering through the window. As she struggled to gain her bearings, she realized that something was different. This room was not her own, and it felt somehow mysterious, ethereal even. Wasn't she just standing on deck 5? Was it all a dream? Sarah muttered, lost in her surroundings. She pushed the heavy covers off her slender frame and swung her legs over the edge of the bed. The wooden floor was cool beneath her feet as she stood up and began to explore. The room was old, with faded wallpaper peeling off the walls and dust settled on forgotten furniture. It seemed frozen in time, as if it had been untouched for decades. Curiosity piqued, Sarah opened the creaky wooden door and stepped out into a narrow hallway. The air was thick with anticipation, a barely tangible energy that seemed to beckon her forward. As she ventured further down the hallway, she noticed a door that appeared somehow different from the rest. It was hidden, blending seamlessly with the wallpaper, almost as if it didn't want to be found. Intrigued, Sarah turned the ornate brass doorknob, and the door swung open with a gentle creak. Inside, she found herself in a small, windowless room that felt strangely alive. The walls were adorned with ancient tapestries depicting mystical creatures and ethereal landscapes. A single candle flickered on a small table, casting dancing shadows across the room. Suddenly, a voice whispered in Sarah's ear, sending shivers down her spine. "Sarah," a voice called out. Startled, she turned to see a figure standing in the corner of the room. It was an elderly woman dressed in a flowing white robe, emanating a radiant glow. "Who are you?" Sarah asked, her voice filled with awe and curiosity. "I am Seraphina, the guardian of wisdom in which you are present in," the woman replied, her voice soothing and melodic. "Welcome." Seraphina's voice filled the room as if encasing Sarah's presence. "You have awakened in the hidden room, a sacred space that connects our physical world to the ethereal realm." Sarah turned around, her eyes widening in surprise. A woman, dressed in a flowing white robe embroidered with symbols of ancient wisdom, stood before her. Her face was wrinkled, yet radiated an otherworldly beauty. "You have been chosen, Sarah, and given a great gift. To embark on a journey that will unlock the hidden chambers of your soul. Here, within this sacred space, you will receive the guidance and enlightenment you seek." Overwhelmed by the encounter, Sarah sank to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "But Seraphina, I am just a humble seeker of truth." Sarah's head nodding in disbelief, her mind racing with questions. "But how can I be chosen of something so all-powerful and majestic? What if I'm not good enough? Or able to see?" Seraphina smiled tenderly and extended her hand. "Rise, dear Sarah, for the divine path awaits. Together, we shall uncover the secrets that lie within you and illuminate the path towards your spiritual destiny." Sarah took Seraphina's hand, feeling a surge of warmth and reassurance. The hidden room on Deck 5 had revealed itself to her, becoming a sacred space where she would undergo a transformative journey. Sarah couldn't help but feel a mixture of excitement and apprehension as she stood to her feet. "But why me? And what is this journey you speak of?" Seraphina reached out her other weathered hand, placing it gently on Sarah's arm. "That answer lies within you, Sarah. The journey to the ethereal is a personal one, a quest to uncover the depths of your soul and connect with the divine. You possess a special gift, a heightened sensitivity to the spiritual realm." Sarah's mind swirled with 1,000 questions. She had always felt a connection with something greater than herself, a yearning for a deeper understanding of life's purpose. This hidden room seemed to hold the key to unlocking those mysteries. Serafina gestured towards the tapestries on the walls. These ancient symbols hold wisdom and knowledge passed down through generations. They will guide you on your path, providing glimpses of the ethereal realm and the truths it holds. Sarah took a step closer to the tapestries, her eyes tracing the intricate patterns and symbols. As she studied them, she felt a strange pull, as if they were communicating with her on a deeper level. A sense of peace washed over her, replacing her earlier confusion and fear. Serafina's voice broke the serene silence. Sarah, you must trust in yourself and your intuition. The journey ahead may be filled with challenges, but know that you are not alone. The ethereal realm is filled with guides and guardians who will assist you on your path. Feeling a newfound sense of purpose, Sarah nodded and looked into Serafina's eyes. I am ready. Serafina smiled warmly, her eyes sparkling with ancient wisdom. Your willingness is the first step, Sarah. Embrace the unknown, surrender to the mysteries, and let your spirit guide you on this sacred quest. Sarah let go of Serafina's hand, the feeling of warmth and reassurance still lingering after the touch. Indeed, the hidden room on Deck 5 had revealed itself to her, and she found herself ready for its transformative journey. Little did Sarah know that her encounter with Serafina and the discovery of the hidden room would be just the beginning of an extraordinary adventure through the realms of spirituality, unlocking the mysteries of her own existence and connecting her with the divine. As the ship sailed through uncharted waters, Sarah's heart overflowed with gratitude and excitement. The divine journey had beckoned her, and she was ready to delve deep into her spirituality, guided by the celestial wisdom of Serafina and the divine presence that enveloped the entire ship. The voyage had only just begun, and Sarah was prepared to embrace the unknown, for she was confident that the divine would lead her towards her ultimate purpose. Then suddenly, darkness engrossed the room and Sarah's once elevated mood shifted drastically as if she was falling. Chapter 6, Trapped in Darkness, A Dragon's Tale. As Sarah found herself engulfed in the darkness, an eerie silence filled the air. She reached out her hands, hoping to find something, anything to guide her through this unknown abyss. Panic started to creep into her thoughts, and a feeling of despair washed over her. How did she end up in this dreadful place? Suddenly, a faint glimmer caught Sarah's attention. As she moved towards it, the light grew stronger, revealing a wondrous sight. Before her stood majestic dragons with shimmering scales, their eyes glinting with wisdom and power. How? I mean, who are you? Sarah whispered, her voice trembling with both awe and fear. The largest of the dragons stepped forward, its voice resonating through Sarah's entire being. We are the Serenity Dragons, guardians of light and knowledge. Sarah couldn't believe her eyes, nor the words she heard. Dragons were creatures of myths and legends, not something she had ever believed in. Yet, here they were, imposing and magnificent. Why am I here? What is this place? Sarah asked, her voice filled with curiosity and confusion. The second dragon, a smaller and more gentle-looking one, spoke with a soothing voice. You are trapped in a darkness created by your own doubts and fears. We brought you here to help you find the light within, so to find your way out. Sarah's mind raced, trying to make sense of their words. Had she been in denial about her own struggles? Uncertainty and self-doubt had always haunted her, but she had never imagined it could manifest in such a tangible form. The third dragon, the most colorful of them all, spoke up. Sarah, it is time for you to confront your fears. Only then can you find the strength to overcome them and discover your true potential. Sarah took a deep breath and nodded, steeling herself for what was to come. She knew she had to face her inner demons if she wanted to find her way back to the light. Suddenly, the dragons started to transform into ethereal beings of light, surrounding Sarah with their radiant presence. The darkness began to dissipate, replaced by a serene glow that enveloped her. With newfound determination, Sarah stepped forward, ready to confront the fears that had held her captive for far too long. As she walked through the gentle glow, memories of past failures and moments of weakness flooded her mind. But instead of succumbing to despair, Sarah found herself reflecting on how each of these experiences had shaped her. Each failure had taught her the importance of resilience, and each moment of weakness had revealed the depths of her strength. She began to realize that the darkness she had been trapped in was not the enemy but a catalyst for growth. It was a necessary part of her journey towards self-discovery and empowerment. As Sarah emerged from the darkness, she found herself back in her own cabin room. Her surroundings now familiar again, offering her a gentle nudge of comfort. The dragons had vanished, leaving no trace of their presence, only the memories of their wisdom and guidance. With newfound confidence, Sarah looked out the small cabin window, seeing a world full of possibilities. She knew that as long as she embraced her fears and believed in her own strength, she could soar to new heights, just like the dragons she had encountered. From that day forward, Sarah vowed to face her fears head-on, knowing that every challenge was an opportunity to grow. And whenever doubt and darkness threatened to overwhelm her, she would remember the serenity she had found in the presence of darkness. A reminder of her own resilience and inner light. The End, a book written by Jules Mahalo. All for the glory of one, Father. Dedicated to Ms. Sarah Grace, who inspired this magical piece of enlightenment within me.